What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and we are back for another Dolphins with Dillon. And so today we had practice. Obviously, there is a press conference with Adam Gase that I will be obviously giving to you guys to see for yourselves and hear everything that he had to say. But there are some really good news about the injury report for this upcoming game. Now, first of all, let's talk from our perspective. So for the Dolphins, the only person that we expect out, the only person out of all of the people on our injury report is Devontae Parker with that middle finger. Now, about that though, he actually was at practice today. Everybody else on the injury report, Frank Gore, Jakeem Grant, Josh Sitton, obviously except for Marquise Gray because he's now on IR. But everybody else that was on the injury report has been full participants in practice. Devontae Parker was at practice today for the first time in quite some time, which is good, which is encouraging. He had like a hand mitten cast thing on his right hand for his finger, obviously. And but the good thing is it seems that as of right now, it seems that he's doing everything that he needs to do to try and get back as soon as possible. And as of right now, the projected timetable from reports that I've seen is as soon as week 2. So somewhere between week 2 and week 3, he should be back into the lineup. And golly, I mean, I want him back in the lineup. I definitely do want him back in the lineup, but obviously, he needs to come back healthy, 100%, especially something with his hand. I mean, he broke his finger that's just super unlucky. But he has been, hurt far too much. So he needs to come back healthy and be able to, start contributing and at a high level. Now, whether it's week 2 or week 3, I have confidence in the coaching staff to do what is right to make sure that he is going to be ready to play. They're going to probably want to get him a full week of practice before throwing him into a game. So hopefully that is sooner rather than later. And then hopefully he can just stay healthy for the rest of the year. I mean, if he only gets 15 games, 16 games, 14 or 15 games, then, it is what it is. But as long as he can then stay healthy for the rest of the year, especially too, then if we do end up, as I believe, winning our division, going to the playoffs and so on and so forth, then, we're going to need him. So hopefully, I mean, there's a lot of ifs and a lot of hopefuls in there, but, we'll see how that all plays out. There are some encouraging signs, though. Anyway, so here is the real big thing, though, of this news. The real big point of this news is what came out of the Titans injury report. Now, according to Travis Haney, he had tweeted out that Vrabel gives his final Titans injury report. These are the players that he ruled out for the game: safety Kendrick Lewis, outside linebacker Harold Landry, inside linebacker Rashaan Evans, and offensive tackle Jake Conklin. That is huge, massive, absolutely massive. Think about that. Their defense, for one, is going to be completely, well, not completely, but severely hamstrung, missing safety Kendrick Lewis, outside linebacker Harold Landry, and inside linebacker Rashaan Evans. We are going to this should be a game where we already expect to go up tempo and everything, but missing the inside and outside linebackers, those two guys, they are super important. They're some of their most key contributors at their linebacker position. Missing those two guys is huge and especially that with a safety also being out, we should be able to victimize them in the middle of the field. Intermediate passes in the middle of the field, down the seam. This should be a game where our tight ends should be able to, do some stuff, and our running backs for sure out of the backfield. That mixed in with an up-tempo offense, we should be able to, really just pick apart their defense. And I mean, if our offensive line holds up, opens up some holes, and gives Ryan time to throw, then we should really truly be able to pick apart their defense without some of their key contributors. That's not to say that their defense is just terrible all of a sudden, but those are some pretty big names to be losing or to not have. And then you think about offensive tackle Jake Conklin. He's one of their best players on that offensive line, and he's that bookend. He's that I believe he's their left tackle, if I'm not mistaken. And but either way, that's one of their their key contributors on the offensive line. One of their staples, the big guys that are supposed to be there protecting Marcus Mariota. And I know that Mariota hasn't exactly had the best preseason. He also is what was it? I'm pretty sure he's known for throwing some interceptions, right? I always get that confused between him and Jameis Winston, but I'm pretty sure that's right. He's thrown some interceptions. His interception to touchdown ratio isn't that great for where he is right now in his career. I'll have to double check on that because I feel like an idiot if I'm saying the wrong things, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. Marcus Mariota hasn't been all that great at protecting the football in his time so far. So if we can, with our pass rushers, my point simply is this: with Jack Conklin out, with Cameron Wake and Robert Quinn on the edges, and the rotation on the defensive line and being so aggressive, and with the guys that we have in there, they're going to be creating havoc on Marcus Mariota, and it's going to be insane. Now, obviously, Mariota can use his legs. He is able to do that. They also have Derrick Henry, who's a big, bruising kind of back. He's, probably going to be, I would think, a focal point of their offensive attack. So there is going to be for us, and I'll talk about this, more in my actual preview video, but there is going to be an emphasis on our run defense because of that. So, but anyway, so that's huge news, though. I think that I thought already that we were going to beat the Titans. It's going to be a home game. This team, I think, is built right. They got the right mindset. They got the right players. People vastly underestimate us, which is fine with me. So I thought we were going to go in there already. It's going to be hot, humid. They're going to be, hurting in the sun there. And we're going to be going up tempo and all that good stuff. So, I already had it in my mind that we were not going to beat them, but we were going to do it pretty convincingly. And, we were going to score a lot of points. I think that already. Like I said, I'll talk about that in my actual preview video. But even more so now with the guys ruled out that have now been ruled out. So anyway, like I said, that's huge news. It's awesome. Great for us. I do hope and wish the best for those guys, and I hope that they can come back next week and play. We obviously don't want anybody to get hurt, but I'm glad that they're out for our game because that just helps us, And frankly, I don't give two shits, honestly, about, how we do it, man. I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong. I want us to be, prolific on offense. I want us to be, efficient and, keep down the penalties and shut down people on defense and all that good stuff, obviously. But at the end of the day, wins are wins are wins, right? Let's get some wins, and that does help us. Missing those players really gives us an advantage. So anyway, I'm just super excited. I hope you guys like that. I hope you guys enjoyed the news. I hope you guys are as excited about this upcoming game as I am. We are just a couple days away. I've been like salivating and like dreaming about it and shit. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But it's gonna be fun, super exciting. I can't wait. I'm doing my preview video, my official preview video for the game tomorrow, and then I will obviously be doing a thorough breakdown of the game after I watch it. It's in its entirety. I'm gonna be watching it as it's on, obviously. But when the game's over, I will be doing my breakdown and my recap. I will give you the post-game press conferences and so on and so forth. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and give you Coach Gase's interview after today's practice. So I hope you guys enjoy that. If you do, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, questions, comments, concerns. And if I do make a mistake about something, feel free to correct me, throw some information my way. I don't like saying things that are wrong. So, don't hesitate to do that. If I make a mistake somewhere, feel free to correct me. Anyway, so with all that said, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's get excited for Sunday, and I'll see you guys soon. Fins up.
And he's a better athlete really than almost every guy that you have on defense, and that's why we talk about being able to kind of box him in, be able to multiple guys, if he does take off, which is hard because he usually runs by guys when he gets loose. So it's a problem you have to be aware of the entire game. You can't relax on any given play.
When you have to, as a defense, have a player spy a quarterback, what kind of stress does it put on the rest?
It just singles everybody else up, and it makes it difficult and makes it tough when you want to pressure. You have to be smart when you do that. So there's a lot of little things that you have to make sure that you do correctly. If you have one guy, if he makes the slightest of error, it can cause you a big play.
Cyber Park, do you expect everyone for Sunday?
I don't see any unless something happens between now and then.
Have you selected a backup quarterback for Sunday's game? And if you can't tell us, can you tell us what will go into the decision?
Probably it'll be a gut feel. Just kind of, we'll see when we get there. I haven't really spoken to those guys yet.
You guys pick captains?
Yeah.
Adam, last night's game was delayed, 30 minutes because of weather or whatever. Do you go through contingencies because of warm-ups? How often do you guys do that?
I want to say that might have happened to us in 2013 when we played in the Thursday night game, the opener against Baltimore. And we waited for a while. You just try to keep guys loose and then try to organize when you get a start time, then you start working backwards and just really get your warm-up set.
Is that a real distraction, or is that just kind of, it's 30 minutes?
You're just ready to go. You're just delaying something that you've been waiting for since last season.
Dillon complimented Laramie as making improvement from the start of the spring to now. Can you give us a little insight on some of the things you feel he's better at?
Well, he's been challenged every day, and when you're going against Robert Quinn every snap, especially when you throw the ball, there's no relaxing, and which has been great for him because it's hard. And when he has his times that he wins, he's doing a really good job. He really understands the game and our system to the point where he can try new things, and he works well with Josh, and it's been impressive to watch those two kind of work together and that chemistry on that side.
How is he in terms of footwork and pre-snap timing?
The guy's an unusual athlete for a guy that size. He could probably play a skill position if we wanted him to. He really does have unbelievable ability.
Adam, a few days ago you mentioned how Jakeem has become a legit fifth wide receiver, an outside guy. What's been the biggest step or steps that he's taken in that evolution?
I think it was just once we moved him to the outside, and he just really took to that. He's really hard to press. So he sees, majority of the time he'll see off coverage. I think a couple teams, he got some press in that New England game, and he made the most of it. And it's really been growth ever since then. He's had some really good practices where we got an opportunity to get him the ball, and he's gotten open. I think the longer he's been in the system, the more knowledge that he has and quicker he is to adjust to things, which is, that's the whole point of the drill, is to keep learning and, figure out how far you can push yourself.
Why did you think he could make that move?
That was something the coaching staff, offensive staff last year, Clyde brought it up with, I think it was Pierre Garcon, might have been inside when they first got him, and then they moved him outside, and he really flourished. So, I think that's maybe where the conversation started, and we felt like we had nothing to lose, and he wanted to play, and he didn't care where. So, we gave him that opportunity, and he made the most of it.
Your impressions of their number 99, Casey?
He's a very, very good player, and he has caused us a lot of problems over the last 2 years. And he's been consistent, both in the run and the pass game. You have to account for him. You have to make sure that it's hard. When you single him up, it's tough.
There's a new Dolphins shirt that has a slogan, "Who you with?" And I'm assuming all slogans kind of run through you, or does that?
I have nothing to do with that. I don't know.
Adam, the locker room that's the player's domain. How do you decide when to go in there and how much time you spend in there?
I don't go in there a lot. That's their area. If I go in there, I'm usually cutting across to the cafeteria, or if I'm looking for somebody, I just need to tell somebody something real quick. But I don't hang out in there. And
how strong is that feeling that that's their area? I mean, that.
Well, I hope they feel that way. That's why not many coaches go in there. We try to stay out of there because that's their area. Sometimes
you mention gut feeling. At this very moment, what's your gut feeling about what you have to work with, what this team will do?
I've said it since the spring. I like this group. I like the way they work, the way they prepare. I mean, that's what you have to do to get ready for Sunday, and then when we get there, just lean on what you've basically gotten yourself ready to do, and don't think, and just react to the game and play fast.
How excited are you that the regular season is finally here?
Anytime you get to this point, you've been working since the spring to get here, and going through training camp, and then you cut down the roster. It's been a good week. It's been fun watching these guys, embrace kind of some of the changes that we've made, and our schedule and kind of how we did things this week. Wednesday was a great test for us because it was hot, and it rained and then stopped and really kicked in the sauna, so that was good. It was good for us to go through.
Is that a pad or a glove that Devontae, I guess, is wearing right now?
Yeah, I think it's a pad. I don't know. I didn't check it out, really.
Have you guys ever tried to catch yet, or that's not?
Not yet.
That's good.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interviews. I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, if you did, please hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, post on Facebook, whatever, hit the like button, and definitely leave me some comments, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to see or hear in the videos, stuff like that. So definitely let me know. And of course, the most important thing is subscribe. So with that said, I'll see you guys soon, and fins up.